And here we are. It's the Fundamental Framework Show with me, Brad Tolliver, and my co-host, Majin Sweet.
Hey, everybody.
Fuck you. Anyway, recently, some great / terrible news came up. Kojima expected to leave Konami after Metal Gear Solid 5 because Konami's run by a bunch of dum-dums. Nick, you give me your thoughts.
I don't see what the terrible part about this is. This is the best thing that could have ever happened.
Well, I'd say terrible is it shows how even when you literally only have one dude left basically carrying your company, publishers still find a way to be fucking stupid.
Well, the reason for that is from what I can tell, it's like Konami's basically transitioning out of video games completely. So I don't even think they really care too much, honestly. Like, that sounds crazy, and it kind of is, but I think they're ready to just stop doing video games altogether.
Yeah.
Like, they're probably going to try to see if the Metal Gear thing will keep working, because why not? You might as well. You have the IP. But if it doesn't work, I don't think, like, it's the end of the world for them.
Shit's kind of gross though, because they're not only are they immediately announcing that they are going to try to do something with the series still, they're trying to remove Kojima's name from the game itself, including, if I remember correctly, an actual the collection they did not too long ago.
Yeah, the Legacy Collection.
Yeah, they're basically taking his name off everything.
Yeah,
which has led to a huge shitstorm on Twitter. Even like this group, the Snake Soup, actually tweeted mentioning this in a response to like one of the Metal Gear posts, and that thing got more retweets and favorites than the actual original post.
Yep, it is absolutely disgusting. And yeah, shout outs to Snake Soup. They've been around forever. They're a really cool site. The guy who runs it, Robbie's really cool. So I'm glad to see that they're making a big deal out of this, because it is a big deal. It's ridiculous.
So
it's just petty is really the best way to put it.
To me, this is highlights why I have no real serious interest in working with any publisher ever as like an aspiring game developer.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what more proof you need that publishers will fuck you over and rape your own work at any chance they're given.
It's not even that. It's just that there is like absolutely no level of decency, like at all.
There's no
this is a guy
respect even from a lot of like gamers. I mean, there's definitely a lot for Metal Gear Solid, but there's definitely a decent chunk of people that try to excuse this stupid crap without even really thinking it through. There was a big thread on NeoGAF that actually raised a decent hellstorm about this, where a guy was trying to point to the latest Devil May Cry and Castlevania games as good examples of IPs being rebooted. As if he forgot that these IPs didn't exactly do too good after they were rebooted.
Lords of Shadows effing sucks, and if you're someone that liked Lords of Shadows, I'm sorry, but the game sucks.
DMC is an okay game, but it's like offensive. Like, it kind of actively insults like previous fans.
And on top of that, while it's an okay game, it's not as good as like Devil May Cry 1 through 4.
I wouldn't even, like, without even going to quality, it's just not the same game.
Exactly.
Like, it's an action game, but if you're a fan of these kinds of games, you will see like a big difference. Like, it's not an evolution, it's a different game.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who actually liked it. I played Devil May Cry before, I played that game, and I was like, yeah, this is like a less stupid God of War. It's not like Devil May Cry at all.
But to get back to the Kojima thing is that to kind of put this in perspective, like when we were saying that there's no level of decency or respect, this is a guy who literally carried Konami as a company as far as gaming goes for like the last 20 years.
Oh yeah,
he was vice president,
wasn't he?
He's vice president of Konami, and he ran his studio on his own. He made the games on his own that were hugely successful. Made tons of money. Was willing to be a corporate guy, even if it was against, his artistic side. He was willing to do that. He worked with them.
For sure.
And even despite all that, just complete, complete disregard for everything. So if you're some new one in the industry, do you think you'll get any respect if literally one of the most hardworking guys in the industry doesn't get any respect? Like, you have no chance. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not trying to say every publisher is this way, but a lot of them are.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like IPs in general don't get enough respect, because for like the longest time, people wanted him to keep making it to begin with when he wanted to stop.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's cool that people are finally like giving him like some respect now that he's like leaving, but it's like you're the same people that were like basically borderline demanding
Yeah.
These games keep being made. Not all of you, obviously, but I know those numbers don't lie. A lot of people were still pushing for him to make them when he did not want to keep making them. And it shows when you still see people who try to defend this stuff. And it's like they can't look at other series that have just been completely destroyed. Silent Hill is a big one, which used to have such a prominent play, it's this big artistic thing, and now it's like a joke. Like, it's in shambles.
And not a coincidence, also Konami. And that team also was completely dismantled, destroyed.
Yep.
So there you go.
It's great.
And it really shows that there's really no, people forget that Metal Gear Solid 2 was planned to be the end.
Yep.
And that was in 2004, I think it was, or 2002. I don't remember. But
it's even earlier than that. Let me look it up.
It was a long time ago. And now we're up to Metal Gear Solid 5. And if you count the spin-offs, it's more like Metal Gear Solid 19 or whatever. And
yeah, 2002.
Actually, 2002, so I was close. So I actually got into an argument at work about this, is that people were saying, well, what's the big deal? There's 100 Marios and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's different. Mario isn't supposed to be a story. It's not supposed to be about, teaching lessons or being artistic. It's more of just a game, which is fine. I don't mean
this as an insult, but I think the way you could put it is it's kind of more of a shallow IP.
I wouldn't even... No, I don't even think that.
Well, I mean, as in, it's not really... as long as it's in the right hands under, Nintendo, there's not a whole lot to worry about. It's where Metal Gear Solid, there's a very unique style to it. It's very lots of characters, lots of words.
Yeah.
But you can't just have someone try to interpret what that is. Even if they got the gameplay right, the story would feel so fucking off.
The point I made to the guys at work, and they kind of got my point once I made it, was that imagine if there was Godfather 7.
Yeah.
Do you think people would be down for that? People to this day still go, man, Godfather 3 sucked. Why'd they make that? We're at Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's not counting the fact that Portable Ops, which I guess is non-canon anymore, Peace Walker are unnumbered, so we're really at Metal Gear Solid 7 or 8 or whatever. And then that doesn't count the fact there's Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2. So yeah, it shows that there's a lack of maturity in the gaming world when it comes to respecting artistic endeavors.
Yep.
And hopefully that will change sooner or later.
And people trying to say, well, it worked for Rising. One, Rising was still his idea originally. And secondly, that's a complete spin-off thing that could just as easily be its own IP.
Yeah.
I made this point, which goes back to my point about certain things being more shallow and everything. This isn't a Metal Gear Solid game. This is a game that happens to star Raiden, who is nothing like Raiden used to be.
Yeah, and it's, Rising is basically its own thing. The story of that game isn't really connected to anything else. It's loosely connected to 4, but not in any, important way. You didn't have to play any of the other games to know what's going on. It's basically its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where Metal Gear Solid 5 and, whatever else they do, we're probably still... Well, then again, I wouldn't be surprised. Konami will probably reboot the franchise with whatever they're going to do next year.
Do you think they're going to reboot it or try to continue it?
I think they'll do a reboot because...
I think a reboot will be even more offensive.
But I'm 90% sure they'll do a reboot because, one, that will make it easier on the team that they're hiring because they won't have to worry about continuity and whatnot, and two, it will go along perfect with their marketing and that, this is a fresh new take at Metal Gear with new fresh people and new different. That way when people are complaining that it doesn't seem like a Metal Gear game at all, they'll be like, that's the point, it's a fresh new look. And yeah, that's basically going to be the dialogue.
Whenever that kind of argument comes up, they're trying something different, and I'm like, for who?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to do something different to where it's literally aiming at a different fan base instead of making a new IP?
Well, the IP is what makes money.
That'd be like if I got the Halo IP and tried to make a horror game out of it. And it's why? I want to do something different because, there's so many titles where you're just shooting stuff. Don't you want something different?
Then make a new game.
But doesn't brand. I need it.
Yep.
You need brand.
And that's what people are actually saying. Like, we need more Metal Gears. Why do you need more Metal Gears?
My favorite was a post that was like, it's got to land in the right hands. It's just got such a unique, like it's got so many characters and such a unique sense of humor to it. And I'm like, where the fuck do you think that comes from? Space? Do you think they just mine this stuff and then hand it to Kojima and go, we found this. Make a game out of it.
And also, I probably should mention that, like, I used to be, like, the biggest Metal Gear fan in the world. Like, Metal Gear Solid 2 to this day is still my favorite video game. And Metal Gear, there was a time, was my absolute most favorite thing. I was obsessed with it.
Right.
And that's why I'm glad that this happened, is because I've kind of...
Let it go.
Not even just that. Metal Gear is just really shifted away from what I originally liked about it to the point where, like, it's just not what I originally was. Like, it's so far removed. So I'm glad that it's basically over with Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, it won't be the same. I want to see what Kojima's can do if he has, less restrictions, his own. He can make something new. That's what I want. I want something new.
I've been asking what's going to happen to Silent Hills, and this is coming from someone who used to be a really big Silent Hill fan. And Silent Hill it's kind of went the way of Metal Gear Solid, except the later entries weren't just different; they're terrible. And people were all excited, including, I mean, I definitely had some nervous excitement about him screwing with the series. Mainly because some of the original creators even straight up said like they would like to work with him on a Silent Hill game. So I'm like, okay, like there's some actual like artistic like
appreciation.
But now that he's gone, they're just gonna have free range with that engine that his team worked so hard on, and I don't expect Silent Hills to be anything good if they even do it. Not only that, but I would not be shocked if he tries to do his own thing, because I would not be shocked. This is all just complete baseless speculation. I would not be shocked if his game was a bit more in line with something like, say, Silent Hill 4, where Silent Hill 4, if I remember correctly, actually wasn't even supposed to be a Silent Hill game. To where it's like, it would have some vague connections to the overall like IP, but it's not like you need to play the other games or really care about the IP to understand what's going on. It's kind of just doing its own thing, because Silent Hill is kind of a weird, vague thing to begin with. It's like, I think that's what he's more interested in doing. He just wants to do a horror game where he can just kind of go crazy. Like,
it wouldn't be the first time a Konami like franchise did that. Portable Ops was not originally going to be a Metal Gear game. It was going to be a squad-based like multiplayer shooter type deal, and it got turned into a Metal Gear game. So yeah,
my point is I would not be surprised. Anyone who's like worried about it, because I was curious about it. I'm not like super broken up, but anyone who's worried about it, I'd say I keep an eye on him, because I would not be shocked if he's still deciding to go through with like a horror game with Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro, and they just go tell Konami to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, he's gonna be independent once December hits.
I'm curious. I wouldn't be shocked if Sony picks him up.
Can they afford him?
I don't know. PT was pretty viral. I mean, I think they want as many heavy hitters as they can get.
I don't know. Kojima might prefer to be independent.
Maybe.
At this point. I mean, would you want to risk going through that again?
Yeah, that's a good point. But I don't know. It depends. The main thing is, if he goes independent, he still has to figure out like a venue for funding.
I don't think that'll be a problem, honestly. So, is there anything else to talk about?
Well, I guess we could. I don't know. I was thinking more like just a lot about like IPs in general, and just how depressing like watching them peter off is. After this like little situation, I hope people slowly but surely start to gain a better appreciation for the original creators' like vision, like what they actually wanted to do with it. But also, on the flip side, at least we're getting some cool new stuff. Bloodborne's coming out super soon, and I'm super duper excited for it.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Yep. Should be nice. I'm pretty sure I'm going to stream that.
Yeah, I might. I definitely want to do like a co-review on it. Like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Look forward to that in like a week or two.
So here's my prediction of my experience with the game. I'm going to play it. I'm going to like it. Then I'm going to get a gunblade. I'm going to get super excited. Then it's not going to be as good as I expect it to be. And then I'm going to be sad.
Anything else you're looking forward to, or is that pretty much it?
Mario Maker. But I still don't have a release date, Nintendo.
Yes.
Come on, man.
It's true.
I'm so excited for that game.
All right. Well, I think that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
See you guys next year.
Next week.
Oh, yeah, right.